What's up YouTube, Capital G here talking about something that is unbelievable, that is absolutely absurd. This could be the most troll thing Konami does this entire year. If you guys thought that the new end of match procedures were bad for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you're one of those people that thinks that, the TCG is always second fiddle, oh, we never get certain sets that they get in the OCG, hint, Link Vrains pack, we don't get certain products. It takes them forever to print us certain cards. Hint, Fright for Patchwork. Who knows when that's ever coming out? Well, it looks like Konami is ready to start screwing over the OCG2. This is something where I read it and I was like, this can't actually be real life. But this has been confirmed because Konami is taking pre-registrations for the first ever YCS tournament in the nation of Japan. In fact, that's kind of crazy, right? Some of you guys might not even know that Japan is going to get a YCS event because I haven't talked about it on this channel. I was actually waiting for just more information. I'm still not exactly sure where, like what city in Japan this is going to be. If it's going to be Tokyo or Osaka, Hiroshima. Japan has a lot of big cities, so they could choose any one of them. And I think that players there would just be happy, considering that Japan does have multiple national events like every single year. They have multiple nationals over there. Like, who knows where it's actually going to be? If you guys know, leave it in the comment section below. But this is absolutely crazy. What am I talking about? What is so troll about this first ever YCS that's happening in just a couple of months, by the way? This is happening in October, and well, by the time you guys see this, it is basically like, I mean, July is over, so it's basically August. Players have about 8 weeks to kind of figure out what they're going to play and start testing and stuff. But the craziest thing about this event, and this is kind of unprecedented, I'm not talking about the first ever YCS in Japan, their actual tournament is going to be played as singles. Like, they're doing Swiss, they're doing a top cut single elimination and all that good stuff like every other YCS and regionals and all that stuff, but they're only going to be doing the best of ones. And I heard that and I was like, what the fuck is this event even going to be? Some people are saying that it's going to be a complete clown fiesta, that it's going to be the most dice roll tournament in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh, which honestly, I probably have to agree with that. I don't know if you guys ever played through certain formats when like Frog FTK was a thing. It's like, oh, you went second against Frog FTK and you didn't open it with DD Crow? All right, well, I mean, I guess you lose, but at least you had an opportunity, even when playing against some of the FTKs that have broken through for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, you at least had an opportunity to side deck. You had an opportunity to go to game 2, to scoop, to save a little bit of time. These duels are also only going to be 20 minutes as well. So I guess the event, maybe on the positive side, it will actually fly by, but it just seems so ridiculous that essentially you will not need a side deck at this event. I think that there will be no reason to actually bring a side deck because you're never going to actually use one, and I feel like this is really bad. I mean, maybe Japanese players are much more open to this idea. I can't make the decision for them because obviously they're the ones that are going to be playing in this event, but it's kind of sad because I actually feel like probably over the last couple of years, there's been so many times where people have said, dice roll formats. And generally, I don't subscribe to that train of thought, right? To that school of thought to where, oh, you lost the dice roll, you lose. But right now, the Goki match, oh my goodness, it is so, they even said it at the European Championship. So many people who were playing Goki, which obviously in the TCG is the best deck in the format and probably the most popular deck. So many players were saying that the Goki mirror match is completely RNG. You can just look at both players' hands, whoever's going first, and you can decide, like, can I push through? Do you not have any hand traps? Do I have the Cult by the Grave? Do I have the little dolphin, the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin? Do you not have the impermanence? If so, do you not have Spear Mode, which I don't think Goki players even use? We can basically just go to the second duel. It's complete, like, you can, that's the one match in Yu-Gi-Oh that you can completely just play on paper. You don't have to do anything, and it honestly is completely die roll based, and it's kind of like sad also when you look at the fact that Goki is probably going to be the overwhelming favorite at Worlds because Goki really doesn't have any hits to it. So we could be having a complete dice roll format at Worlds, and then the first ever YCS might just be completely dice roll as well. I actually thought about it and I was like, wait, maybe Chainburn could be pretty slick at this tournament. No side deck, but then it's like, well, what if you're playing Chainburn and you go second? Have fun with that. I guess you would have to play like Maxi and you'd have to play Spirit Mode in your Chain Burn. But then what if you go first and open with Maxi and Spirit Mode? It's like you're not going to have a very good time playing that. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe that this is going to be a mistake? Because to be honest, when it comes to Japan, right, I feel like you have a lot of players over there who are just, they're yearning for a major event of this caliber. Like, I think that they want a YCS or a Shonen Jump. I feel like they want these big events, and Konami has actually set, you can see they set the attendance for no more than 2,000 players. So they're looking for a legitimate turnout. If this event ends up getting 1,500, 1,200, even like 16, 17, maybe even just 800 players, that will be a roaring success. Because if you guys ever look at like YG Organization or Road of the King, when they talk about some of the bigger tournaments in Japan, a lot of them, while they do happen pretty frequently, like every single weekend, a lot of them get a maximum of like 200 players. So they're not going to have anything nearly this big other than like the national events. This is going to be a whole different caliber of event for the Japanese players that, you know, have never gone to Europe or have never gone to the United States and played in a YCS. So there's going to be something completely new, but I feel like they should get exposure to the actual full-on event, like not some kind of shitty Duel Links like event where they're just playing one duel. Oh, you sacked? All right, well, I guess you end up winning. I think that it could be mildly entertaining because there could be the potential, just because it is 1 out of 1. You could have one guy who ends up running some, I don't know, like Fort Access Fire Fist, who, or you could have, I don't know, somebody who plays like Ophion Evil Swarm, who always wins the die roll and opens up with like Rescue Rabbit plus like Strike, a breakthrough skill, and wins every single duel. But outside of just kind of the novelty of a crazy deck topping, you're definitely not going to get like the best players. This is not going to be an event, in my opinion, where skill is going to determine who does well. I think that this is going to be one of the most luck-based events, and you actually, this will probably be the most luck-based event in Yu-Gi-Oh history, and maybe Japanese players will think that that's more fun because they maybe aren't used to a grueling 12-round, you know, just kind of battle of a YCS, and maybe they'll actually like that. But I think from a competitive standpoint, this is something that's terrible. Now, if Konami did want to experiment this from just a format, if they wanted to experiment this as kind of like a side format, if they wanted to run some side events or something like that, I think that that would be cool. But to have this be like your initial YCS, I just kind of feel like that's kind of silly, especially considering just the rich history of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, they had a back-to-back world champion just a couple of years ago. I think that like the nation of Japan deserves a little bit more than this, a little bit better than just a complete dice roll format. So you guys let me know, what do you think of YCS Japan having their tournament essentially just be singles? Do you guys think that it's going to be luck based? Do you guys think that it's going to be, oh, you didn't open up with a hand trap, go next game? I would actually want to play, because I just feel like I could probably like win some dice rolls and maybe even top. Like, this would be the best opportunity for Cap G to top, because if I lose a dice roll, I'm just gonna be like, all right, I scoop. I'm not sitting there for 20 minutes while you Goki combo and just like, you know, do your whole solitaire bullshit, and I basically might not even be able to get a turn. You're gonna take up so much of the time, or maybe I might play. I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be a weird event, but I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on it. I'm not sure if it's going to be played under this OCG format, so maybe Konami does something where they're going to adjust the ban list. Good, I mean, I guess it was good on them that they banned out like not Firewall, but the Cannon Soldier cards, because I feel like 100% you probably could have saw an FTK actually win this event, and that would have been a very bad look for everybody. Also, do you guys think that this could potentially affect the attendance when it comes to the YCS in Japan? Because I kind of feel like when it comes to like North America and Europe, we constantly see players come from Europe to North American events and vice versa. Billy Break won an event on European Soul. We've had European players who have won American events. So it's really not that big of a thing when it comes to like Euros coming over to North America, crossing the pond, vice versa. But when I look at like European players, maybe players from Oceania going to the first ever Japanese YCS, I think that they probably go for the novelty, because if I could just teleport myself there, I would 100% go, just because it's the first ever YCS on Japanese soil, and I just want to see how hype it's going to be. I'm pretty sure Konami is going to pull out all the bells and whistles and make it just a spectacle and be awesome. But from an actual player standpoint, like when it comes from competitive play and the prestige, like I don't really know if it's going to be worth the trouble, because going into that event that you're going to have to luck sack your ass off to actually win it. And I just feel like there are going to be a lot of players outside of Japan who are going to be turned off because of that, because skill is definitely not going to be what decides this event, in my opinion. So you guys let me know what you think. Also, I know it's going to be under a different ban list, but if it was held today, what deck do you guys think would end up winning this event? Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.